Hey guys, welcome to Reparenting Daily. Today I'd like to take some time to talk about becoming your own inner loving parent. And I'd like to make reference of this book here. If you haven't seen it, it's the ACA, Adult Children of Alcoholic and Dysfunctional Families, Loving Parent Guidebook. This book is designed to help you get in touch with your your inner systems, your inner parts. If you're familiar with IFS, Internal Family Systems, by Richard Schwartz. This process of reparenting is breaking down your experiences, dissecting the voices that come from those experiences and assigning them with a certain traits or characteristics, their origins, and with this you're better able to address and confront them. And it truly is the core process of reparenting. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Let me just close this. Just have some construction outside. I don't have time to listen to that noise, especially when I'm trying to make this connection that's quite heavy with you guys. Reparenting is not an easy process. I think if you're on this channel, you already know that. Especially if you're trying to remother and refather simultaneously. It's like you really are starting from scratch. But I'd like to remind you that in the times when you're beginning to doubt yourself, whether it's possible to heal, whether it's possible to get better, whether it's possible to break these patterns, you can. It just requires consistency, you see. The world that we experience is a product of our mind. And our mind is contained of our thoughts and beliefs. And these can be influenced by you. You have that power, you have that influence. Maybe you didn't when you were growing up. Maybe your parents led you to believe that you did not have any influence over your life, or that taking charge of your life is in fact wrong. You were misled. You are the architect of your reality. And you have the ability to reparent yourself successfully. No matter what anyone else has told you, it's possible, it's real, and you will see changes in your life. I'd like to take a quick look at this. We're discussing here these reparenting milestones. I will see if I can put an image up on the screen. But basically, the first one is, identify and stop listening to the inner critical parent. All right. These are all of the thoughts and beliefs that have become habituated in your mind, in your neural pathways because of your repeated experiences with toxic caregivers. The next is then to collect with the loving parent, which is the present day, loving, emotionally connected, attuned parent who is here to nurture you in the present day, as well as the inner child, the wounded inner child who still remains within. Next, we go into accepting the reality of that inner child. So this is once you're doing your historical excavation, your fourth step, you're understanding all the things that you witnessed, that you experienced, the consequences of that, the support that you received or did not receive, the training that you received or did not receive, and the mirroring that you received or did not receive. Accepting that with full honesty, without anger, without emotional attachment, accepting the situation as it is. Because unless you feel it, you cannot heal it. And without acknowledging the pain that your inner child actually experienced from those experiences, will continue to perpetuate that into your future. So if you want to change patterns, which is why we're here, to change the patterns, right? Because you don't want to continue perpetuating the same crap into the future, right? And so that's the first, or the next step. This is number 1, 2, 3. Number 4 is willingness to seek out and integrate the inner child. So this means, again, coming back to yourself. Your ability to integrate your inner child is taking into account your gifts, your abilities, your talents, your natural presence, your natural lovability, your natural belongingness, right? You naturally belong. You are not naturally socially anxious. You are not naturally fearful, avoidant of connection. We are all human beings. Human beings all desire connection. And so if your wounding has led you to a place where your desire for connection is destroyed, that's a sign that there's some work to do. Because we, as human beings, are designed for connection. We're designed for love and respect. We're designed for reciprocity and empathy. We're designed to help each other grow and to lift each other up. And so when you've been placed into an unnatural situation, such as childhood, neglect, abandonment, abuse, or trauma, so many other things, then you're naturally going to be distancing yourself away from that natural state of human connectedness. We're supposed to belong to each other. We're supposed to lift each other up. That's the point of connection. That's the point of family. That's the point of friends. That's the point of connection. Safety comes through connection. And so it's also important to think about that when you're in this process of reparenting. You have to have that willingness to seek out your inner child and to bring forth that child's talent, that child's joy, that child's optimism, that child's curiosity about the world. You have to find that again. Because when you've come from a dysfunctional family, you might be bogged down by a lot of thoughts and beliefs that are no longer effective. It's something that I've been working through myself. And as I'm getting in touch with the deeper core emotions, the pain that's under the anger, because most men, we are socialized to lead with anger because it projects strength, it protects dominance, it protects invulnerability. But if you're talking about healing the inner child, you have to get down to that core level. If you don't heal it, you will not feel it, and the cycle will perpetuate. I don't know about trouble, but I'm done with the cycle. I'm ready for a new one. I cannot anymore. And I don't want to be alone in that journey. I want to be able to help other people also along this journey, because this has taken me so much work, so much time, so much sacrifice. And I really want to be able to help other people who are going through this journey. I'm not someone who is a guru. I don't have all the answers. I'm not trying to sell you a solution. I'm not trying to sell you a course. I'm not trying to get rich from this. This is authentically, genuinely someone going through their own experience and sharing that with you. I genuinely care about you. If you're listening to this, I care about you. I want you to heal. I want your life to progress. I want you to be able to prove to yourself that you can break through. I want to build a community of people who are doing that. I want to build a community of friends and connections who believe what I believe, who support each other in their growth, who perhaps have also grown up in these dysfunctional family situations without that support. And perhaps they're now living in a state of paralysis where they believe that they cannot find support, that support doesn't even exist, and that people are not real. There is no real connection here. When you're starting to reparent, it's important to go back to that inner child and to give them the nurturing, the tenderness, the care that they deserved all along. You cannot allow these faulty memories to distract you. You deserve much more than what you believe. You are so worthy. You have so much light to bring to the world. And you have to stop letting other people drag you down with that. Your own mindset is what is projecting your reality, You deserve better. You deserve to live free and abundantly. You deserve to know peace and joy. You deserve to know yourself and to be yourself and to be at peace and in love with yourself. As we look at the next one, number 5, the rest stage, our childhood and adolescence, and our gentleness and grief work. So after acknowledging what has happened, where you are, accepting the situation as it is, accepting yourself, all of your woundedness and situations that you've experienced, accepting that as it is and not trying to wish it was different, but just resting in that. Despite the fact that this brought you pain, despite the fact that this made you vulnerable and perhaps a bit exposed, we have to work on releasing that fear. It's not just exposure, you're not just in danger, you're acknowledging yourself for the first time. And that is so important, so important. You must be able to acknowledge yourself. And the last, we have the integrate. And this step, the inner child and the higher power into your daily life. So this integration phase is the indefinite continuing phase. I think all of them are really, but this is like the permanent mode of integrating everything that you're learning over the years and over the months back into your beliefs, in your understanding of the world, your world image, in your self-image, improving your self-image. Because do not allow the world to tell you that you are weak. That's pathetic. So many things in this world are contradictions. They say that, for example, the strongest people are the ones who have support. But if you really think about it, being supported is not strength. Being supported means you have support, Someone who has made it through all of this strife on their own and is still standing, still fighting, still winning, still searching, still achieving their dreams, still trying to expand and look for more. That's true strength. But you see, society will lie to you and try to tell you that you are weak actually because you don't have support, and they will call support strength. But actually, strength is not the same thing as support, I'm pretty sure, because if it was, then we wouldn't have two different words. We would just have the same word. Now, supportive people are more reinforced, right? And people assume that it's strength, but it's not. And there are so many things like this in society, so many platitudes that are pushed upon us that actually are designed to lower our self-esteem, to cause us to doubt ourselves, so that we are easier able to manipulate and control. That's the bottom line. But I'm telling you now, if you're going through this reparenting journey, you have the ability to self-examine, to rework through your traumas, and to accept yourself. You have the capacity to belong. You have the capacity to give yourself everything that you've missed. You have the capacity to fight for what is right. You have the capacity to achieve your dreams. You are so worthy that you don't even understand. And that's really the hard part sometimes. Is how do you learn to let go and to trust? How to let go and trust, and to believe that you deserve to be here, you deserve to be safe, you deserve to be protected. You can create these experiences. You're not a victim of the world. The world is serving you. You are learning from every experience, from every situation, from every betrayal, from every abuse, from every experience of trust, from every experience of support and care and love. You are learning. Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. That's the utmost beginning point of this whole journey. You must leave the victim mentality. And I know that's really a difficult thing to hear when you're coming from this emotional and social deprivation from your family. They're the people who are supposed to support you, to teach you about relationships and connection, what love looks like, what support looks like, what caring looks like. Because with that training, you're better able to calibrate yourself, and then to go into the world and continue to look for those supportive relationships. And without that foundation, everything then is skewed. And so if you're ready to stop living in that loop, you have to accept that you have the power to influence your life. You are in control of your destiny. And you can bring yourself back from this point of despair. It's all just about understanding that your mind is what influences everything, and you have been programmed with faulty beliefs. People have projected, perhaps your parents, your peers, maybe partners, have projected their insecurities, their doubts, their fears, their unwanted emotions onto you, and perhaps as an empath, you've taken that on, and you have to begin parsing through that, because what you're holding on to is not you. Those faulty beliefs, they're not you. The lies, they're not you. And you have the ability and the capacity and the power and the autonomy to change that, right? And so today, I'd just like to thank you for taking some time to look at how to get started on healing your inner child. Again, I've started this project as a way to be creative, as a way to be expressive, to share myself and my journey as I'm making progress every day, to be a present guide for people who are going through this journey, so that they know that they're not alone, that there are people at different points of the journey who are looking for answers and who are available to support and care for you. And so if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you're lost, feel free to reach out. I'm not a therapist, a mental health professional, or anything official, but I'm a listening ear. I'm someone who cares. I'm someone who is trying to get better. I'm someone who is trying to bring light into the world, to make the world a better place, a softer place, a more understanding and compassionate place, so that we can all thrive here together. Because we're not doomed, maybe the world is in a bit of a difficult place right now, but all hope is not lost. You have more to give than you realize. And there's more peace here than you realize. There's more beauty alive on earth, here on earth, than you realize. There's so much to experience. And you cannot let a disruptive childhood take that from you. You deserve to experience joy and peace and friendship and connection and love and abundance and the desire to share your gifts with the world. So whenever you're feeling lonely or disconnected or without hope, go back to creation. Just start creating things. I play piano. Also, I've started writing some music. I played bass for a while. I still had a bass guitar here. And then I've also bought a guitar, so I'm learning acoustic guitar. I'm reading a lot, as you can see there. I have more in my living room, writing different stories. I got a stylist last summer, so learning how to be more creative and expressive in my clothes and my dress, to learn how to express myself in clothing, because it's something that I was blocked off from growing up in a narcissistic family. And so there are so many ways to be creative, so whenever you're feeling lonely or lost or disconnected, or try to go back to creation. Creation can also be cooking a meal. Literally you can create anything, paint a piece of art, a sculpture, just try to create. Creation is the opposite of despair, And when you create, you're expressing yourself, you're coming back to yourself, you're realizing that you're not alone because you have yourself. You have the ability to bring something new into the world, to create new energy. You have that power, and don't let anyone convince you that you don't. And so, as always, thanks for being here. Taking some time for another reparenting chat. I wish you the best. I hope you're having a good time today. Not putting too much pressure on yourself, and realizing that you have the power to nurture your inner child and to build the loving parent that you need. So thanks again for your patience, and go ahead and give me a like, share, subscribe, follow, share this podcast to those who you know who are also in a process of reparenting. Perhaps it can be helpful for them. And again, if you have any concerns or questions or ideas or things that I could do to be more helpful, please do reach out. You can find my email address on my website. I reply to every email, me or one of my team members. And so we'll get back to you and see how we can be more effective in helping you progress in your reparenting journey, because you're not alone. There is support. There is a way, and you don't have to do this alone. Peace.